Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Aries. That's Aries Sun, Moon, or Rising for the month of June 2025. Before I get started, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. To my tried and true who have been with me for years, thank you so much for walking this rather circuitous path with me. To my new members of my YouTube channel, thank you for your support. There's more coming, including a few more deplorables for the basket of deplorables. If you're a member, you know what I'm talking about. And to my Patreon folks, thank you so much for your continued support. It really means the world to me. All right, so we're going to look at the astrology first, and then we're going to take a look at, we're going to do a card reading, and I'm going to be using the tarot of the spirit. Okay, let me just give myself a little space here. All right, let's take a look at the astrology. All right, just have some patience with me because I need to get to Aries, and it is as far away as it can be right now. Okay, here we go. All right, Aries, here we go. All right, so we start this month with the sun in your third house. It is in Gemini at the beginning of the month, moving into Cancer on the 20th. Of course, that is the first day of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere and the first day of winter in the Southern Hemisphere. The third house where the sun starts the month also has Jupiter and Mercury. So we have Jupiter, Mercury, and the sun all sort of in that third house. Of course, Mercury in Gemini is in a sign that it rules. It's moving forward. Your mind is very active. You start this month with a very active mind, a very expansive mind with Jupiter there. But then we have the shift of the sun. But before the sun shifts over, we have the shift of Jupiter. Jupiter actually moves into Cancer. And Jupiter does really enjoy being in Cancer. That happens on the 9th. So pretty early in the month. And then on the 11th, we have the full moon. That's the full moon in Sagittarius with the sun in Gemini. This is your axis of the mind. The full moon in Sagittarius illuminates a truth, perhaps. Something that had been hidden previously is revealed. For you, it really is about awakening the mind for you. Okay, so new ideas coming in, maybe new downloads coming in. You can expect all of that with this full moon. We have, let's see, your ruling planet, Mars, it starts the month in Leo and then moves into Virgo. So it moves from that fifth house. It's spent quite a bit of time in the fifth house, but the fifth house is a very creative house. I think you've liked having Mars in the fifth house, especially when it was moving forward. Maybe a little less so when Mars was moving retrograde in your fourth house. That could have been very difficult. You could have had a bunch of like gut issues at that time, stomach aches and the like. But that's in the past. We're not going to talk about that. Anyway, I don't think Aries cares so much about the past. They want to know what's next. And what's next for you is Mars continuing to move through the fifth house of creativity and then moving into the Virgo house of work, service, and health. So you do need to make sure that you are applying, doing what you need to do for your own health. If you need to go for testing, or if you need to, make that maintenance appointment with your chiropractor, whatever it is that you have to do, this is a month to make sure that you do that. Let's see. Venus starts the month in Aries. Now Venus has been very active in Aries. She spent her whole last month in Aries, moving forward. And then she does shift into Taurus. She does that that's pretty early. She does that on the 6th, Venus moving into Taurus. That's good for your money. That's good for your stability. That's good for your sense of self-worth and self-esteem. It's not that Venus in Aries didn't do you well. She did, because she's definitely willing to fight the good fight. But it's almost like you come off the battlefield a little bit with this, and you get a chance to um, have some perhaps downtime and time where you can reestablish yourself and make sure you're taking good care of yourself. There's a lot of energy around self-care for you, Aries, this month, and I would suggest that you make that a priority for yourself. Now, Aries, we have Saturn in Aries now. We have Neptune in Aries. Neptune was the first planet to move into Aries. Neptune moved into Aries at the end of March. Saturn moved into Aries in May, and they're very close to each other. They're within a degree, or maybe a degree and a half at points, but they are moving through. Their relationship to each other is something called balsamic, which means that this is when you are letting go of structures that no longer serve you. It can also be letting go of doubt that you have about yourself that no longer serves, right? Because in February, these two planets are going to conjoin right at the first degree of Aries. So, right here, right at the beginning of the zodiac. So, by next February, you have to understand you'll be at a point where everything that you've had to let go of, you've let go of, and now you start anew. And there's a lot of power and potency in that. And it gives Aries a lot of power in general. Aries goes by their instincts. They're very instinctual, and having good instincts is going to come in very handy come 2026. Right now, it's not that your instincts are off, but we're there's a process of letting go that has to happen, sort of clearing the decks, giving yourself the space to really be who you're meant to be. So this is a time when you're sort of cleaning up your act in a way, with Saturn and Neptune in that house. So just go with the flow, which you do generally. The thing about Aries is if it looks like something's not going to work for them, they don't just sit there and say, it's not working for me. What am I going to do? You just go to the next thing. And so that is that, but you can't avoid what needs to happen. You can't avoid what you need to do for yourself. So when something comes up that you need to really evaluate and say, does this reflect the person I am now? If it doesn't reflect the person you are now, it's time to let that go. Um, all right. Pluto is in the 11th house, going to be there for what, 18 more years. So that's going to be interesting. It is the house of friends. It is the house of new goals. It is the house of technology. And so as technology grows, so will your reach. So will your reach. So if you're not into technology, perhaps this is a time to get a little bit have somebody show you how it can work to your benefit, how it can work to your benefit. As we move into this new energy come 2026, we're going to need leaders, and we're going to need people who are courageous and step out and step in and do stuff. That's you, Aries, but you have to clear the decks now. This is a time of letting go of the you that was that no longer serves, and moving into the new you. So we do have Neptune and Saturn together for a couple of months, and then in the fall they both move back into Pisces. And that's a real let go. That's really when the things just go when they're in Pisces. When they come back into Aries in February of 2026, be ready, because that's when the rubber meets the road, and that's when you really get to express your unique self. All right, let's see if there's anything else I want to say about this. No, I think that's sufficient. Oh, the new moon. Maybe I didn't talk about it. Maybe I didn't talk about the fourth house. The sun moves into Cancer, Mercury moves into Cancer, Jupiter moves into Cancer. Jupiter in the fourth house can be an expansion of where you live. You might want to add a room or do something to make it bigger. Or you may find that your home is almost like a spiritual place. And perhaps it's this year while Jupiter is in your fourth house, you have an opportunity to actually create that sort of spiritual uh, home base, which can be a spiritual home base for just you, or it could be a spiritual home base where people come to your home in the way of feeling as though this is a safe, uh, clean, clear, and energetically fruitful place. All right. All right. So that's what I see. So let's get, oops, press the wrong button. All right. Let's take a look at the tarot. As I said, I'm using the Tarot of the Spirit. This is a deck by Pamela Eakins, who the book that comes with it is a fantastic book. It's got a lot of really great information. In fact, it's one of the books I suggest if you want to study Kabbalah with me that you pick up. And it's a great deck. So you get the deck and the book. It's definitely worth it. A lot of really good information. She does a wonderful job. And the artwork in these was done by her mother. I don't know if her mom is still with us, but all the artwork was her mother's artwork. So she did the Kabbalah psychological. She's got her PhD. She's a pretty smart lady. She's a schmatty pants. I actually had a client who was a student of hers. Alrighty, let's take a look. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? We have still waters. Still waters run deep. This is that Cancer energy in the fourth house. Yeah, so this is still waters. This is uh you're in a place of stillness, evaluation. 8 is an evaluative number. It's also a karmic number. It's also a number of as you sow, so shall you reap. And so you're evaluating what you have sown and what you have reaped up to this point in an emotional way. I think the eight of cups, which is this, is really about moving in the direction of that which is going to feed your soul. And so it sometimes requires us to let go of things that we've put a lot of energy into that no longer serve us. So we have that theme again of what no longer serves us to let go of, to be willing to walk away. What's the challenge? Happiness. You deserve to be happy. You deserve that. Um, although I'm not sure I've ever met an Aries who didn't think they deserve to be happy, honestly. How they get there is varied, but they pretty much are okay with being okay with themselves, which is kind of cool. Um, I think as a challenge, the Ace of Cups as a challenge can be just overwhelming feelings. There's a lot of emotion here. At the core, we have the Empress. She comes up a lot. She's been coming up a lot. Her and the High Priestess actually has been coming up a lot in these readings. This is the feminine energy. This is creative visualization. So at the root of this is your ability to creatively visualize your future. Okay, creatively visualize your future. The Empress is also abundance. So the goddess is at your feet. Your power is your connection to the earth and to the mother here. That's what this card is saying. In the past, we have the Ten of Fire. This is burdensome. There were a lot of burdens. There were again, this energy, this idea of letting go of that which you no longer need, right? This is actually a Sagittarius vibration. So what you've had to let go of is some beliefs, some long held beliefs that you have that you're like, you know what? I don't think these beliefs are serving me anymore. I don't think having this point of view or looking at it in this way is helpful to me. And so that's why it requires you to let it go. And you've done the work. You've done some of that work already. In the sky, we have the Three of Swords. This is heartbreak, but it's also freedom. And it's also a break. There's been a there's been a stalemate, and a third sword, a third idea, a third person has come in to break the stalemate. And while it can be a painful experience, it's also a freeing experience. So you can apply that to your life, whether that's the outer world and that's how you see it, or this is an actual thing that happened to you. Know that once the tears are over, you're going to feel a whole lot more free than you did before. So while it may be difficult now, and that may be what all this emotional stuff is about for you, Aries. Um, know that in the end, you'll be freer. Oh, I like this. In the immediate future, we have the Three of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards in all the decks, but especially this one. This is about finding the work that feeds your soul. This is about working with others who are as good at what they do as you are what you do. So this is cooperation. It's also money. This you can make some good money with this card, but it does have to be something that you're good at. It does have to be something that you've put a lot of energy into. People are going to recognize you for what you're good at. That's what this card says to me. All right. How it's seen from the outside, that you're a bit of a troublemaker, that you're willing to say things that other people aren't willing to say. The sister of wind can be the whistleblower. I'm married to an Aries, so I know they're not afraid to say when it comes in their head, it comes out their mouth. And a lot of times people are like, oh, but they usually speak the truth, so it's worth a listen. Um, in the domestic situation, you feel tied up, you feel crucified. You feel crucified, but something in your domestic situation is coming to an end. Again, that could indicate this card here. It's possible it's a relationship. There might be a relationship here coming to an end. It is done. Whatever it is, it's done, and you will move on from that. Hopes and fears. Glory, hallelujah. This is victory. This is the victory card. You're hoping for victory, but victory has its price, and you know that. So, but you're hoping to win. You're hoping to come out on top. Outcome. The devil card is a card that speaks to you avoiding your light, you making choices that keep you um that keep um what's the word I'm looking in prison, a prisoner of your lower nature. It could be addiction. You might have an addiction that you're trying to overcome. um you may have a situation where you feel powerless. It has you tied up like this. But remember, the devil card is always a choice card. So if you want to be separate from your light, it's your choice. But if you don't want to be separate from your life, it's your choice. Your choice is to choose the light. Excuse me. Underneath it all, we have courage. Well, you have courage. You definitely have courage. One of Earth, new opportunities, and the Four of Wind, which is mastery. So understand you do not have to be chained to the old ways, that you can free yourself. These cards are all about freeing yourself. And when you do, the world is your oyster because you have everything you need to succeed. It's just that sometimes a negative mindset can get in the way. And that may have something directly to do with the people in your life who are trying to keep you from trying to keep you chained up. But I really feel like you're at the point where that's not going to work anymore. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Also been picking a spirit animal oracle card for all the signs. So let's see what we pick for Aries here. Okay. Okay. Get a nice shuffle in here. All right. What animal oracle card does Aries need to know? What animal wants to speak to Aries? Let's see what animal comes up. Animal, 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 animal. Oh, I like this. Hummingbird. Oops. Isn't that beautiful card? Hummingbird spirit. Be here now. Well, I don't think you have to tell an Aries that twice, honestly, but okay. I will read it and hold it up. Excuse me. Pardon me. Mm. Ugh, allergies. All right, Hummer. It's the Hummer. FGH. Okay. Be Here Now was a book written by Ram Dass, who, in point of fact, was an Aries. Okay. The hummingbird's wings beat so swiftly it can hover in seeming stillness and drinks deeply from a flower. Hummingbird spirit comes to remind you that the beauty and sweetness of life is in the eternal now, the timeless present. Here and now, you have become the person you wish to be and have the experiences you wish to have. Focus your energy on the flowers before you, for what you desire. For what you desire is being provided. Yes, there are blossoms everywhere. The choices can be dazzling. Hummingbird spirit message is that you have no need to go around about in search of something better, for all that you require and desire is before you. You will know this and you will become still, feeling your connection to Spirit who loves you unconditionally and will always provide for you. And this is the protection message. Nectar is everywhere, but Hummingbird Spirit is here to remind you that flying from flower to flower and being all over the place wastes precious energy. Be still. Be here now, in the present moment, enjoying the sweetness and sustenance available to you. Focus on one flower a day, which can, I mean, Aries does like a lot of shiny objects. So, and they do tend to have that, like, ooh, a bunny kind of energy. So, do your best to focus on what's right in front of you and let go of that which no longer serves, because the real beginning is almost here and you want to be ready for it. Take care of yourselves, Aries. I'll see you again next month for the Taroscopes for July. Namaste.